Hello and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the Algebra 1 concept of real-world quadratic functions. This is standard A.8B in the great state of Texas, and we are using item number 22 of the 2022 released STAAR test. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and we will look at our answers together. So we have a person diving into a pool, right? And you see we've got our x-coordinates if we wanted to graph this, right? Looks like we're going to stay over in quadrant 4. Right, so our x-coordinates, the time is just going to go from 1 over to 11.5. But look at our depth, right? This is going to be our d of x, or our y-coordinates. We're going to start at negative 2.85, and it looks like we kind of reach the bottom at about 6 seconds. So we're going to kind of go like this. Looks like your classic parabola here. Kind of going like that, and that's going to be your negative 9.3 at your 6 seconds. So we need to turn this into a quadratic equation here. And what we're going to use is a process called quadratic regression. As you can tell from this video, we definitely need a calculator. This is something that you can technically do by hand, but it is so much simpler when we have a calculator that can do the work for us. So quadratic regression helps us find a parabola of best fit. Because I just kind of sketched a basic parabola with the vertex, but it's not the exact one that we would need, right? So how do we find a quadratic equation that best fits these data? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to use our calculator over here, and then we're going to get something that's going to look like this. We want standard form, so we want d of x equals ax squared plus bx plus c. Really, we're looking for a and b and c. That's all we're going to get. If we can find what these three terms are, and as you can tell, right, f and h don't even have a c. They just got an a and a b. So that's going to be one clue for us. G and j have all three terms, a, b, and c. So if our quadratic regression only gets us a and b, then we know it's, obviously not going to be g or j. So how do we do that? Well, we're going to enter in to this stat mode on the calculator, and then we're going to hit enter, because these are going to be our two lists. All right, so our x-coordinates are going to be L1, and our d of x, or y-coordinates, are going to be L2. So we're just going to enter it straight down. So 1, 4, 6, 8.5, 10, 11.5. You could just go straight down, hit that right arrow to go to list 2. Now we have to make sure we get our negatives, 2.85, and then negative 8.28, and then negative 9.3, and so on and so forth. You just plug it in. Let's see, let's make sure that's a negative 7.65, negative 5.1, and then negative 1.38. All right, we've got our two lists. We can double check to make sure they work. We're going to go back to that stat button. Now that we have our lists, we're going to go to calculate. So we hit the right arrow to move over the tab. Scroll down to quadratic regression. That's number 5, quad reg. Our x's are list 2, our y's are x's are list 1, y's are list 2. We're going to calculate, and look what we get. We get an a of 0.26. We get a b of negative 3.11, and there is no c. All right, so it's not going to be g. It's not going to be j. And we see it right here, the 0.26, negative 3.11. Our answer here is H.